you played for Joe Paterno.
Meeting like the myth, the legend kind of thing. You know what I mean? You have your Joe Paternos, your Bobby Bowdens, your Nick Sabans, Les Miles, those kind of guys. And when you see them in person, like, man, it's just like an aura that they have.
But runs down the floor, and then I think he either got a dunk or like an and one coming off there, like a pick and roll or something. But it was awesome to see like how he's really maturing and completing it as a player.
Obviously doesn't have the accolades that Tom Brady does, but we're pretty much getting a Tom Brady, when he went to the Bucs. That's what's happening. We're getting a guy who's at the end of his career.
Attitude with I mean, dude, we thought Big Ben was a diva. There is no one probably in this NFL world that you can think of that would probably match what Aaron Rodgers brings when it comes to being a diva.
You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome back in to another episode of the Mark Lesko Podcast. Joined by Brett Cable once again. Brett, how you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Not much, man. I was going through our thread here, and we've sent each other a ton of stuff, but we're just going to go over the...
I sent you another one. It's just crazy how many, even if we don't get a hit on all these guys, Penn State's in the top 4 for so many good athletes, man. Have you seen that? It's crazy. It's actually better than I've seen it ever. And you know why? Because of the college football playoff, and regardless of what people think on who we beat to get there, the fact that we showed up and showed out and almost went to the national championship last year, recruits want to come to Penn State, man. So, I mean, from all over the place. Recruits from Georgia, Florida, California, it doesn't matter where they're at. Penn State's getting them, man. So it's awesome to see. I like it. It's nice to get players from all over the place. We got a cornerback from California, a corner and a quarterback. So in the last year or so. So I mean, it's that's something you never thought would happen. So,
well, the cornerback we got, that's a big sign. 4-star guy. We have.
Yeah, the one from Virginia we just got.
Yeah, we have another 4-star guy that's on the brink right now of committing. I forget what position he plays, but
we got a couple. Yeah, we'll talk about Dorian Barney from Georgia. He's actually from Erie, but plays in Georgia. And then the biggest one is what's his name?
Well,
Carrie Adams Carrie. I can't.
Troy Hoon. He
Elite 11 finalist, man. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, crystal ball from Carrie Adams. Troy Hoon. He's at Elite 11.
Yep. Troy Hoon and Peyton Falzone were both in the Elite 11 camp at State High. State High is where they were doing the camp, and out of all the quarterbacks there, I think they might have invited one or two, and Troy Hoon got to go. So that's awesome. He'll probably do that in California, I think. I'll have to see where it's at, but
5. Okay. All right. So to start with the Penn State news, we got.
Yep.
Hold on.
We need Joey O'Brien. We need him, dude.
Joey O'Brien, yeah. So 5-star safety, LaSalle.
Same high school as Micah Parsons. Yep.
So we got him on the brink right now of committing.
Abdul Carter, sorry. Same high school as Abdul Carter, I think.
Yeah. Because same thing, but
yeah, pretty much.
Michael Parsons went to Harrisburg.
Yeah. Yep.
My boy played against him. He said My boy that played against him said he was 6'4", 240, ran a 4.4.
He played running back too.
Yeah.
Like, he played.
Yeah, and my boy played D-line.
Yeah.
So he had to like tackle him.
Well, Daniel Jennings, the defensive end that's just reclassified for 2025 class, he played running back too, and he's 6'2", 6'2.5", 245. Like, it's huge. That's like Derrick Henry size, man.
Yeah. Crystal ball for Maryland cornerback, target Kerry Adams.
He's a top 50 player or something, dude. We need him. He's legit.
Amari Campbell is signed.
Yep.
Trevor Pena is signed.
I guess he's number 8.
Yeah.
And then
which last person to wear that was Allen Robinson.
Last good one, because we had Tyler Johnson. He was a backup receiver, but he went to Old Dominion, maybe? He went to smaller school.
Yeah, like the last legit guy we had was
Allen Robinson.
A-Rob, which no one even freaking knew who he was until – if it weren't for the scandal, he probably wouldn't have gotten as much time because can't remember his name. I'm gonna look it up real quick. But he got kicked off the team for fighting with Pat Fitzgerald in the weight room. The lifting coach. It's right there. I can't remember his name. But yeah, he was the last number 8, really. Shawnee Kersey is who I'm thinking of. Shawnee Kersey was booted from the team, and then A-Rob stepped up, and then he did what he did.
Yeah,
and he was I think A-Rob was a second-round pick, and then they got it was he went to the A-Rob went to the Bears.
Yep.
And then no, I'm sorry. The Jaguars got okay. First they got Blake Bortles in the first round, 2014 NFL draft. And then they got Marquise Lee from USC, who was a freak. And then they got A-Rob too in the second round.
Yep.
So they killed that draft. Like, Marquise Lee, he didn't really pan out. Blake Bortles, he was all right, but they, in terms of like a talent, they killed that draft. But Keemon Spell, 2027 top 15 players in On 300. Keemon Spell is 8.
And I just sent you another one that's like that one. I don't know if I sent it to you before. It shows our top 3 guys for 2027. 2027 class is going to be insane if we keep it up. Let's send it to you. See. Because we got Khalil Taylor and him and London, what's his name? The offensive tackle. Leighton Von Brandt. It's a sick name. Leighton Von Brandt plays with Jasir Rogers in Delaware. So, but he's coming a year after Jasir Rogers. That's
baby
wild.
Brett.
You made that?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a video. It's me, you, and Jared talking.
That's hilarious.
But we're babies.
That's so.
It gave you a beard too. That's funny.
That's crazy. He looks a little bit more happy.
Commits.
I said he looks extremely happy. The baby version of me.
Yeah.
Blue chip
recruits.
Right, we're right in there. USC's just they're on another level right now for recruiting, and it's really annoying. But nobody's more annoying than Notre Dame and their fans, so it doesn't matter. Their fans are absolute garbage, like just trash.
Man, I just put up a short.
They're worse than Ohio State fans now, dude. Notre Dame, they get they win one big game and they're like, oh my god, they're acting like Michigan in 2023. It's unreal, man.
Well, I remember after the game when we lost to them, Franklin said this is a JV setup because of the celebration. They were going nuts. I'm like, you guys are going to go and get your asses kicked by Ohio State, which they did.
Yeah.
But Amari Campbell, this is transfer portal all impact team defense. Amari Campbell's on there.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Payne's on the offense.
Yeah.
I put up a short today, and it was when Matt was on last, and I just said, Ohio State fans are morons. They're the worst fans in the world. And man, TikTok, they're just going at me right now. It's hilarious. And I've already blocked 4 people because they keep making Sandusky jokes. Like, dude, really? Like, that's what you go to? That's so stupid. It's like, really? That's how you know you don't have a good argument when you do that.
Yeah.
And we got class of 2026 top 10 committed wide receivers. Davion Brown, number 17.
Yeah. We're making a jump, man.
He's number 17
nationally.
Yeah.
Which is for Penn State, dude. We'll take that. Like, let's go.
Real quick, this is Penn State related. Pick 3 wide receivers. Who'd you pick? Jahan Dotson, A-Rob, and who else?
And Chris Godwin, dude.
Okay, so you picked
it's a solid
Jahan,
3.
Godwin, and who else?
I picked Godwin, Dotson, and Robinson.
Well, you got to pick 1, 2, or you got to pick out of the 3 categories.
Oh, did I do it wrong? Wait.
I don't think so. A-Rob, Dotson, Godwin. A-Rob, Dotson. Yeah, technically you did, yeah.
Oh, okay, so I'm going to go Allen Robinson, Jahan Dotson. No, I did it right. And Chris Godwin.
Well,
no, it's the other way. Never mind. So I'm going to go Jahan Dotson, Bobby Ingram, and KJ Hamler.
Yeah, so, and I said, do you know who OJ McDuffie and Bobby Ingram are?
Yeah, I do. I don't, obviously.
Yeah, I know, you know.
Super
but
sharp.
you're more of a recent fan, so
I'm 2015s to, I'm in the last decade is what I'm good for. You're good for all of it. I'm good for the last decade.
All right, so the thing about Jahan and OJ, they were both first-round picks. I'd have to go with Jahan, though, because he is basically D. Wills.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
I'm going Derek Williams, Bobby Ingram, and Jahan Dotson. Bobby Ingram, he wasn't right, man. He was so good. Like he was better than the law allows, dude. So Jahan, Bobby, and
that whole core right there is insane. But
oh yeah, that's a.
I actually really love Deion Butler. Like he was underrated, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I love Deion Butler. Like I remember him. I'm growing up watching him, but yep.
Because when I had AJ Wallace on, he played offense too. AJ Wallace, he was like Justin. Dude, to me, everybody knows who Justin King is and like how good he was. AJ Wallace was probably better. I mean, he played more than Justin King did.
Yeah.
AJ Wallace. And I think he just did his show, AJ Wallace. Let me see. Yep, he got first place overall. He's the man. I'll pull that up. But yeah, Troy Hoon. Elite 11, which is at State College High School. Chase Daniel was there giving a speech. I sent that to you. And dude, like people like they're like, oh, like he's a career backup. He sucks. It's like, bro, this guy had like almost like a 15-year career in the NFL, you know, as a backup. The guy knows.
Making it to the NFL, being on a roster in general was very hard. So I don't know.
Like locally,
Sean Clifford was on a roster for I think he might be back on the roster, but the fact that Clifford he worked his tail off, man.
Mhm.
The one thing you can't say about Sean Clifford that he's not a hard worker because he's very
Yeah, and Trace
very
McSorley too, man. He's a short
both
guy,
of them,
and
yeah.
he had a great NFL career. I thought he
Both
should have
of
been
them.
a starter.
Yeah.
Um,
You could have played for so many teams that needed somebody for so long, and there's 32 teams, man. There could have been 5, 6 different teams that were in a poverty level of playing style that he could have played for. So somebody should have took a chance on him.
a guy that went to my high school, Mikey Kresovich, who we've had on here, his dad played at Bald Eagle, and then he's still the all-time leading rusher at Lock Haven, and that's over Chris Collier, who played at Lock Haven. He's now with the Ravens. No, he's with the Raiders now. He was on the Ravens. I spoke to him at a gym here, and because Rob Oshinsky, who I had on here too, he trained him. He trains him. And he and Mike Kresovich, he was on the Jets, and I don't think he even made the roster, but he was on the Jets. And dude, one of the best athletes from Center County ever. He was in the NFL, man. That's insane.
Yep. Absolutely.
And he's not a big guy. He's not a tall guy. He's short, Mike Kresovich.
Well, Ashton Genty, man, 5'9". He's built like a brick house, though. He really is.
Wearing Crocs at the draft.
Dude, we're going to get one of these defensive tackles. For how many top 4s we have for defensive tackles right now? Damari Simon, that's a sick name. I'll take it. Let's go. Let's get him. It's a sick name. We might have an all-name team here, too, we should do before the season. Because we have some really cool names on our team.
Well, the middle of summer, we'll do our full positions breakdown of the roster. We'll go through each position group.
We'll do an all-name team, just cool name.
Yeah, we'll do an all-name team. We'll do an all-time team. You and I have never done that. The last time I did that was with my previous co-host. We do an all-time roster.
Yeah.
We do worst player, that our least favorite player, and then we do the worst in our opinion and the best. So my worst safety of all time was Nick Suke.
Yeah.
No offense to him. No disrespect to him as a person, but he was frustrating to watch as a safety. And then Derek Fox, he was my favorite safety of all time for Penn State. And then you got, favorite linebacker. We do each position like LeVar, and then you got Michael Parsons, and probably Abdul, and then D-line, you got Courtney Brown, Anthony Adams.
Yeah. Well, dude, Amos
Matt Millen
was nice too. When we had Amos, he was legit too.
Yeah.
Amos.
He was.
Well,
top 27, 20. Yeah. Khalil Taylor, Leighton Brandt, came on spell. We got literally 3 guys in the top 300. That's insane. And they're all 4s.
Mm-hmm.
James Franklin is the best recruiter in America. So.
Legit.
Ranking college football's top 25 players since 2000. Not one Penn State guy on there.
This was laughable. I couldn't even look at it. It was so bad.
I mean, you got to have Saquon on there. Abdul,
you can't even have Barkley in the 20s. What are you talking about, dude?
Michael Parsons should be on there too, but he didn't play a lot in college. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty good list, but they just don't have Saquon on there. He was Reggie. There's 2 running backs that, when I think of college running backs, I think of Ricky Williams, Ron Dane, Barry Sanders, Saquon, Reggie Bush. That's who I think of. Saquon Barkley is one of the best college running backs ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got
Jazeel Hart from Roanoke, Virginia. That's way down there, man. Yep.
And is it Sider? Was it Sider? He has connections to no, not Sider. Poindexter. He has connections. Poindexter, I think, and then the receiver coach. They both have connections to Virginia.
Yeah, Marcus Higgins. That's how he got Davion Brown. So yeah, he's definitely got Virginia ties. And then this was
4-star
Keyshawn Stansel. Do you see how many defensive tackles were in the mix for? I sent you like 3 or 4 of them.
So have they
and we
come
already
up
have
with
2 committed, man.
Yeah. Have they come up with the top 25 yet for college football?
Did they just have preseason ones, man? Like after spring? Like they'll probably drop one in August. Do you know what I mean? They probably won't drop like an updated one because they're going to want to see what happens in fall camp. They're going to want to see the certain intel that happens in fall camp before they do that. This was a decent list. I wasn't like...
Well, it's this century. Joe Paterno really didn't have that much success in this century. I mean,
that's why he's not... Yeah.
He almost made it to 2 national titles, 05 and 08, but he wasn't like, but he still won a lot. He should be on this list, but...
It's just, they were,
I think Jared showed me that the other day. He was like, what do you think of this? I'm like, it's not too bad.
That was one of the better lists that I've seen for something like that,
But I asked about the top 25 because out of the spring, we're number 1. So Penn State could be and I think even Landon Tengwall said that we could be number 1 going into the season.
Yeah, I actually think we should be I would feel better if we were number 2. Put like Texas or Ohio State number 1, because I know this is stupid, but if you look at statistically, how many teams that were preseason ranked 1 and actually won it? There's only like 2 teams.
It's like 2, yeah.
Clemson and Alabama, like 2 separate years. That's the only, and those were dynasty teams, bro. Those were, you know what I mean? Like we're not a dynasty team. We could be that, but we're not. We loaded up crazy for this year, but wouldn't you feel better? I would feel better if we were 2 or 3. I wouldn't be mad if we were 1 because we have the talent and we but
yeah, I don't want to be number 1.
No. 2 or 3 is fine. If we're anything below 4 or 5, it's just disrespectful at that point, but whatever. You can sleep all you want. People Notre Dame fans and everybody else is sleeping very tough on it. So whatever, they can sleep. I don't care. I keep telling them.
All right,
sleeping,
so
bro.
I think it's what are the rankings right now? But we should be all right. So it's going to be Texas number 1. We're going to be. I think we'll be top 3. And Ohio State. There's no reason Ohio State should be top 3. There's no
the only reason they would be is because they won the Natty last year, but their team is not close to the same as it was last year. Ours is, and we made it in the top 4. Our end of the season ranking, if you think about it, Mark, was 4th. We were 4th. So that's what our seeding would have been in the. If they seed the playoff like they're about to seed it last year, we would have got a first round bye.
Yeah.
Solid, right? I mean, we were,
Yeah. Okay, top 25 college football teams as of May 24th, 2025, according to ESPN's post-spring. Ohio State is number 1, Bama 2, Penn State 3. That's ridiculous. So by the time the season starts, I think it should be Texas 1.
I got to see more from Alabama than putting that because, dude, they were terrible last year. I understand they're going to have a new starting quarterback. That's the thing. All these teams that are normally good or elite have all starting quarterbacks are new, all of them. Think about it. The only team that's not, and this is why I told you, Clemson is going to be legit. Clemson gets Kate Klubnik back, dude, and he was legit last year. I thought he was good. He's a top 3 quarterback coming back, so he's in people's top 3.
I mean, we should be number 1 because even Texas has a new quarterback. We should be number 1 technically, but I think Texas will be 1. We're going to be top 3, definitely easily. We're
gonna be top 3, which is fine. Yeah. But you know how we do. We do better when we're underrated. When we're ranked higher. Or, lower, whatever. Like, if we're ranked 10th or 7th, like, I feel like we show out more. So, like, when we had Barkley, we were ranked 2. That was the last time we were ranked 2nd in the country when we had Barkley, I think. And we because we were ranked 3rd this past season when we played Ohio State. We were 3rd. but we lost, so we moved back. But when we had Barkley, we were ranked second. We went into Ohio State, took the opening kickback 2017, right? And then we were up by 2 scores or something, and we should have won that game. So that was a defensive failure, bro. Our offense didn't lose that game. Yeah. That's when our defense was not great. Our defense was not good at the end of Brent Pry era. I don't think about it. Brent Pry, great coach. I like the guy, but our defense took a step forward after he left. Think about it. Like, dramatic step forward. I'm talking like
it did.
A big step. So, with Manny Diaz and company. We just keep upgrading our defensive coordinators. I mean, we're a defensive team. We always have been. It's a brand that we play. And we got Jim Knowles for 3 years. I mean, God willing. I
think it was. All right. So at the end of the year, what was not the final rankings. We'll do week 13, I guess. Right. Is it? Yeah. Okay. So I think these were the final rankings before the playoff. Mm-hmm. All right. Let me see. Do we have anything else to talk about in relation to Penn State?
Let's see. We did recruiting. We did.
Because the final thing I want to talk about is the playoff structure. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Top 10 running back units. Here. Penn State is number 1. Should be.
Oh, Titan Davis. I mean, you could put that on quick. I sent you that. That's another one. It's between Michigan, USC, Alabama, Penn State. That's a big one there. He's at like top 5 defensive tackle. Titan Davis. That just came out today. Top 4. That's what I mean. Like, dude, we're in the top 4 for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So we're in the hunt. The staff is doing an incredible job. Hats off to them. We can finish, if we can get just a top 10 class, dude, it'll be our best recruiting class since Drew Aller's class, 2023. So we need a top 10 class. We usually, like, even top 15 is fine, but we need top 10 right now.
Pro Football Focus, number 2 defensive tackle is Zane Durant.
I couldn't hear that if you were trying to play it.
No.
Okay.
Is Zane Durant from Penn State. He was a constant presence in the backfield last year for the Nittany Lions, a disruptive force for that Nittany Lions defense. And Dawn, a Penn State defensive line that lost a lot from last year. Obviously, Abdul Carter is gone as well. But you still have Denai Dennis Sutton, still have Zane Durant. Those two are going to spearhead, which should still be a really good defensive line for Penn State.
Absolutely, the type of player that Jim Knowles, I would say he didn't even have at Ohio State last year. Curious to see how he uses them and how much he centers maybe even just that 4-man rush around him.
At number 2 is Zane Durant.
Yeah, he should definitely be top 2 at least.
Yep. That guy's a Penn State fan too. The one talking about Zane, he's a Penn State fan. That guy.
Okay. By the way, that guy that made the Trace McSorley song, he has like a pretty big YouTube channel. I'm assuming he's definitely a Penn State fan, but he does like USFL coverage and stuff.
Oh, does he?
Which I think that's what it is now, USFL. But yeah, so
positive impact on people when it comes to graduation rates, when it comes to the amount of successful people that have gone on and are doing wonderful things as fathers, are doing wonderful things as businessmen and as husbands. I've just met so many people. We got lettermen here this weekend that their sons that we're recruiting, and to me that's what it's about. It's not about the wins and the losses. It's about how many people did you have a positive impact on, and all the players that came through here that he was able to have a positive impact on it. And I think that's what it's about. I think the championships are important, and the wins and losses are important. I think you guys heard me talk about this. After the Rose Bowl game, there's a greater purpose to this, and the education is what I think everybody focuses on. But the education is really talking about the impact that Penn State can have on the rest of their life. And it's not just what they learn in the classroom, but it's all the people that you come in contact with that had a positive impact on you and made it positive.
Yeah, love or hate James Franklin. By the way, man, he looks so young there.
Yeah, he's aged. He's taking good care of himself, but yeah.
He just kind of looks different. I think he should keep the facial hair, man. It's a good look for him.
Somebody posted a picture of him recently when he was at the Packers as a receiver.
Yeah,
after nearly
Penn State Threads. Yeah,
was that Penn State Jersey or
Penn State Threads?
Penn State Threads who posted it. Penn State Threads is legit, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Franklin, love him or hate him, he respects Joe Paterno. He brings all these alumni back. He's kept the tradition alive at Penn State. I mean, you got to give him credit. Like, he's done a lot.
Absolutely.
Like that, and he carries himself very well. He always looks, he's well dressed. He just carries himself with confidence. Like, I like. There's a lot of good things about James Franklin that I like, and he wants to be the first African American head coach to win a national title. Like, that's very motivating, man. He's spoken about that. He said that himself. That would be insane. Think of all the milestones in relation to that.
Needs to happen this year. He can do it.
Yeah, that would be insane.
As long as he lets his assistant coaches coach and doesn't dabble too much into the plan and trust them, which I think he's doing that more. Like, at the end of the day, man, we've talked about this. We don't know, with the play calling of certain things, we know it's up to him to make but if he's putting trust in them and then they make a mistake, then somebody could be like, well, Franklin messed that up. It's like, well, you don't know that. We don't actually know. You know what I mean? So I think overall he's continuing to learn from his mistakes. His game management's much better, much improved, man.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, he didn't lose us a game last year. I can confidently say we didn't lose against Ohio State or Notre Dame because of James Franklin. That's not true. We won against Minnesota because of him. We would have lost that game. If they don't call the fake punt right there, we could have lost. So, yeah, I'll stand up for him. He does need to win this year, though. It has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, all the milestones that come with that.
Yeah.
Bluford, the Bluford building at Penn State. That is named after the first African American astronaut. I mean, so that's just that would be an incredible feat for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But I would love to see that.
Put a statue up of Franklin if he wins a natty, bro.
Yeah.
Just put it up. We'll take it.
Absolutely. Penn State's going to close 7 branch campuses.
Nearly 2 hours of debate. Penn State's Board of Trustees finally made the tough decision.
The motion passes. 25 yays, 8 nays.
Approving the university president's recommendation to close these 7 campuses, Fayette, New Kensington, and Shenango here in our area, as well as Du Bois, Wilkes-Barre, Mont Alto, and York. Penn State President Neely Bendapudi says over the past 10 years, enrollment has dropped 43% at those 7 campuses, and the financial picture is equally sobering.
We are spreading our students, faculty, and staff so thin that we jeopardize the quality of education and the support that we can offer.
Some of the trustees who weren't on board with the closures wanted more time to make the best decision.
I'm going to vote against. And it's not because these challenges aren't real. It's because our values must be real.
Others said they didn't think delaying the vote was an option, given the reality they face now.
I love Penn State. Penn State changed my life. And I wanted to continue to change people's lives for generations to come. But this vote is not is about making the tough decision today that will ensure a brighter future for Penn State.
I close with hope is not a strategy. We've got to do something. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting a different outcome.
The closures will go into effect after next spring semester. After nearly 2 hours of debate.
Who was that talking?
Which one?
That was definitely a former player there. That was just talking there. Hold on.
At the end?
Yeah.
After
I
nearly
thought it was Bob White, but I think it might be Blair Thomas.
2 hours of debate,
But I'll say this about President Bendapudi. I do like her, man. I like her a lot. Like she's a businesswoman.
Yeah.
And obviously she's very good at what she does because she's the president of Penn State.
Yeah.
She's all about business and money and football. She's all about it, man. So like, who was the president before? I
forget, but I like Benaputi more.
Yeah. What was her name? She wasn't
so thin.
I don't know why they ever brought her here, but she was at Cali before that. Or no, she was the AD, right?
Well, the president before her was a guy, but Sandy Barber was the athletic director.
And it's not because
Right,
these
and Sandy Barber was
not this guy. This guy is not a former player, I don't think.
Penn State. Penn State.
Yeah, is that Bob White?
I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to tell. I think it's probably just it could be a dean or a staff of one of the branches, right?
I'm pretty sure that's definitely a former player of some point in some form.
Yeah, I wish they would have named them.
No, that's not Bob White. Who is that? Darn it! It looks like Blair Thomas, but I don't know. It might not be a former player.
State changed my life.
But my thoughts on this whole thing is, I get both ends of it. I mean, for people's jobs to be lost here, and but with those numbers are staggering, dude. 40-something%. Like you're losing money staying open, right? Like let's think about it. It's a business that it costs a lot of money to keep the doors open. If enrollments drop 40-some% at those branches as a whole, then if you close them down, that puts more money in Penn State's pocket to do more with the main campus and everything. So, and the other branches that are staying.
Yeah, that's one thing about as a former employee of Penn State. As a worker, pretty much no matter who you are, you're spread thin. I worked at basically if something needed fixed, they called us for the whole University Park campus. Okay, you know how big University Park is. There's 100,000 people on campus every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes they would have one person at that desk, and that person was me.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that, man. That's insane. For that whole campus, you had one person to call. That's it.
That's wild.
That's crazy. So yeah, I can say you're spread thin, and if you're working at one of those branch campuses, they don't have enough staff. Then yeah, like you're not getting the quality that you should. So Bendapudi is right about that.
Yep. Smart move.
So
wait, is that all
right.
the branches, or are there more branches? There's more.
There's like, there's like 13 branch campuses. I think they're closing 7.
Yeah. So wait,
but
they're closing Du Bois, but they're keeping Altoona, right? They're keeping Penn State.
Well, Altoona is like the reason Altoona is like second to University Park as far as
that's what I thought. Yeah, because it's right.
Like they would never close that one down.
No, they get plenty of people. Yeah.
But there's all those people. Like, what are they going to do for jobs? Stuff like that. So
yeah, it stinks.
But
here are 3 things.
All right. So this is the new college football playoff structure to end here. I had the 2024. I had the playoff I had the top 25 up earlier. I'll pull that up again. But yeah, we'll just play this.
Things you need to know about the college football playoff this fall. Number one, the seeding has changed. It's a straight seeding model. So the committee's top 4 teams are going to be the top 4 seeds, regardless of if there are a conference champion. This is what it would have looked like if it would have been in place last year. Penn State, Texas, they did not win their respective leagues. They still would have earned a first-round bye as a top 4 seed. The second thing you need to know is that even though the seeding changed, the 5 highest ranked conference champions are still guaranteed spots in the playoff. That leads to the third thing you need to know. If one of those 5 highest ranked conference champions is outside of the selection committee's top 12, it will still bump out the 12th ranked team to get that spot in the playoff. Here are
All right. So someone asked, what if 2 of the top 5 conference champions are outside of the top 12? Does it knock out the 11th to 12th ranked team? Probably. So we can pull up the Pat McAfee clip if you want. She explains it.
Oh yeah, I'm down. But at the end of the day, this is a better format, don't you?
Yeah.
I think so. Like, you're not putting Boise State at 4 anymore. That'll never happen, and they don't deserve it. So it makes perfect sense.
All right, so as I've said before, it should be top 12, 12 versus 1, no buys, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. I guess, come on, stop freaking out. I guess we'll go off of this. All right. Yeah, so it would be Clemson plays Oregon. Boise plays Ohio State. Indiana plays.
Wait, you're talking about for last year's?
Yeah, like what I would want if it should be just be top 12, 12 versus 1.
On
11 versus 2.
what it would have been here. Second.
What's that?
On to reposted what it would have been, like the actual bracket.
Yeah. We'll pull that up. But
I'm looking for it here.
Or if you want to give the top 4 buys, that's fine. But if 12 plays, I think it's 12 plays 5. Like the number 1 team should play whoever's the lowest seed, and then the second lowest should play OSU, and then on and on. It shouldn't be 12 versus 5 plays 4. You know what I mean? It should be like the NFL. The lowest seed, no matter what, the lowest seed plays the best team, no matter what. That's how it should be. Oregon should be rewarded for being number 1, not playing Ohio State, which they just got out to a fast lead. Ohio State, they just got out to a fast lead, man, like that. They played good, but Oregon, not one. Okay, so let's see here. Oregon lost. Boise lost. Arizona State lost. And Georgia lost, right? Not one top 4 seeded team last year won. Not one bye week team won.
No.
All right. The structure last year was horrendous. That was horrible.
It was bad, yeah.
I liked our schedule, but
we'll never get that again. No.
Yeah. But it should be the lowest seed plays the best team no matter what. So if you want to give the top 4 teams a bye, fine. Do it. But which they're going to. But yeah. It should just be literally straight up like worst plays best. That's it. It shouldn't be. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I can't find the freaking. Damn it. It's driving me nuts.
All right. We'll pull up Pat McAfee here. Because she was on here explaining it. Yep, here it is.
Oh, and by the way, Travis Hunter and his girlfriend got married, which that'll be a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I think it's
a mess.
She's
in it for the money. That's it.
I know nothing about either of them, but sometimes I see these athletes and they're with these girls. I'm like, dude, like just looks alone. I'm like, you could do better, but I know, obviously there's more than looks involved, but
yeah,
I mean, good Lord.
She's all right,
man.
but yeah. Dude.
I'll pull up the Pat McAfee episode, and that's what we'll end on.
Your Twitter account that we just saw. The 12-team college football playoff will now be a straight seeding model this fall, rewarding the selection committee's top 4 teams with the top 4 seeds in a first-round bye. Multiple sources have told ESPN. The 10 FBS commissioners and Pete Bavacqua, who's the Notre Dame athletic director, comprised the CFP's management committee. They reached the agreement this afternoon. Okay, so everybody thinks this is smart. We knew that whenever they went to the 12-team playoff, they were going to have to evolve and adapt to make it better for the second year. Do we know they were meeting today on this? And is there any other changes coming? And thank you, Heather, for making time for us on such short notice.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. They are not announcing any other changes today for 2026 and beyond. The other reason that they came to this agreement, remember, it had to be unanimous in order to implement the change for this fall. And one of the reasons they were able to get to the unanimity is because of the financial component that was added to it. Sources told me that if you're one of the 4 highest ranked conference champions, even though you're not going to get one of those top 4 seeds or first round buys necessarily, you're still going to get the $8 million that Boise State and Arizona State got. $4 million for getting into the playoff, and then $4 million for advancing to the next round for a total of $8 million. So to be able to keep them financially whole was part of this deal.
Okay, so I love that, and obviously that source is probably calling you with more information on how they got to it. I think everybody kind of agreed that this was the right move. I think didn't it seem like everybody in football, both fans, coaches, and obviously the committee, felt like this was the right move after year one?
Yeah, and last time we talked on the show, I told you that everybody in that room felt like this was the right thing to do for college football, but there were some hangups in there because there were some people in the room who wanted to tie this conversation to try to use it as some leverage for 2026 and beyond, because this is a very divisive issue for the future of the college football playoff in terms of automatic qualifiers. The SEC and the Big Ten want guaranteed spots. Well, how many do they get? Do they get 4? What does that mean for the ACC and the Big 12? Those are the conversations that are going on. And there were people in the room who said, hey, if you want to do what's right for college football now, let's tie it into the big picture and make sure that we're doing the same thing for 2026 and beyond. But it's divisive, Pat. We don't know how.
College football seemingly divisive. Always has been, always will be, but damn it, it is a beautiful thing in its entirety. You just talked about guaranteed slots for these conferences because they want the championship games not to be held against basically their teams. If you fight hard enough to get to the championship game, it better not be held against you. They want, if you make it, automatically in, which leads to Tone's question.
Yeah, Heather, obviously 12 teams now, and then it was 14 teams was rumored to be the next one. But is there any chance that we skip 14 and go directly to 16, and when could that happen?
There is some consideration for 16, and part of the reason for that is to allow for more at-large teams, allow for Notre Dame, obviously, which has some protections in the future iterations of the next contract of the college football playoff. So I would think it would be 14 or 16. It certainly seems like there's some momentum for 16. But I'm telling you, I am not going to try to predict the automatic qualifiers because there's going to be some pushback. There already is pushback, not only from within the room, but there could be some political pushback as well as far as politicians, people in Congress, all the way up to the top. We'll see what happens with that.
I know the people of West Virginia aren't going to be happy you keep slighting the Big 12 like that. But I think the Big 12 potentially doesn't have as good of a seat at the table because West Virginia hasn't been in the conversation for a couple of years now. So once Rich Rodriguez and the boys over there put their big boy pads back on and we're at the table, maybe the Big 12 get a little bit more respect over there, as they should. Got Prime over there, too. Come on.
Yeah.
Big 12 is about to be – don't look now, okay? Don't look now.
ASU.
Oh, my God. Scatterboo just came. What do you think he's about to do with the future?
Yeah.
Yeah, the SEC needs to, because guess who's coming? That's Big 12.
Not West Virginia.
It'd be a
That's for
Big
sure.
10 because they're the premier conference in the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's Big 10, the SEC, and then the SEC's doing this one. Guess who's coming? Big 12, brother. Okay, don't worry, though. We got the Big 10. We got enough good eyes to be looking at the top of the mountain right now, though. I'll let you know that. Big 10's going to – hey, when the Big 12 starts, especially West Virginia, especially in the middle of Big 10 country, should be in the Big 10, okay?
Yeah, they should be in the Big 10.
Or the ACC. Very much should be in the conversation. I guess our academia is just not high enough.
I've long said I'd be okay with kicking Rutgers to the curb and bringing in West Virginia.
Okay, I like that. I think AJ Hawk feels the same way. Heather, you need to get behind that because I think your voice means more than any of ours. Go ahead, AJ.
Heather, you mentioned these top 4 teams get $8 million. Does it?
Rutgers would fit better in the Big 12.
Can they do whatever they want with that money, or do they have to spread it around to the other teams? Can you use it for NIL? I wonder, is it school by school, or can they tell the teams?
It should be in the PSAC.
The schools
Well,
how they can use
they
it.
made some steps. Like I
Well,
gotta give
just
them
to be
some
clear,
steps.
it's not the top 4 teams. It's the four conference champions.
It's
The
not
highest
against
ranked
us.
conference
Ever.
get that money, and they can use it as they will. I mean, think about this: Notre
brother.
Dame this past season, because they're an independent and don't have to share it with the rest of a conference. That $20 million that Notre Dame racked up for making it through the playoff to the national championship game, that's theirs. So, you know, that's another question in terms of how they share that with the conference. I'm not entirely sure how they splice that up for those
Not
other
fair.
teams in those.
All right, the money part I don't care about, but the seeding part.
It's annoying though. Notre Dame got to keep all that money. The Big
Yeah.
Ten had to split it, bro. Like that's stupid.
Yeah, that's BS.
I'm okay with 14 because we're at 12 now, but 16, bro, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
Like
They need
stop
to
adding it.
they need to get the seeding right first before they could make it 80 teams for all I care. But you know what I mean? It's like get the
There's too
seeding
many-
right first.
You can't play that many games. People are gonna be playing second strings. Every team's gonna be second strings. Everybody's gonna be beat the heck up. Like 12, 14, okay. 16, no, I'm good. Like stop at 14.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
So under new seeding format, so we were number 4. We would have made top 4 because Ohio State lost to Michigan.
We would have played Notre Dame anyways.
Go blue. Huh?
We would have played Notre Dame anyways, which is funny, probably. They
Yeah.
probably would.
But it would have been at our house though, you know?
Yeah. It's true. No, that would have been in Miami or whatever. Right? Or
Well, oh
Would've
yeah,
been
true.
neutral. It
No,
would have been
yeah,
neutral.
right.
Would've
Yeah,
been neutral.
right. Yeah, it would have been. Where was that?
I forget where that one was.
It was against Boise State.
Well, that was we played Boise State in Arizona, I think. Right?
Yeah, it was Arizona, right?
But
Yeah, and
that was down there, so this would have been a different area probably.
Yeah, so even though we lost to Ohio State, we would have been top 4 because Michigan beat Ohio State. It's for you Ohio State fans.
I do like the matchups like SMU, Tennessee. That would have been decent. And Arizona
Yeah.
State could have played Ohio State pretty well. I mean, they played Texas down to the wire.
But what I want is like okay, so it would have been Notre Dame would have beaten Clemson, which means we would have played Notre Dame.
Yep.
And then Indiana probably would have beat Boise.
I like
which
that
means they would have
matchup,
played
Indiana, Boise.
Oregon. What's up?
Indiana Boise would have been a good matchup.
Yeah. And then Ohio State would have played Texas, and then Tennessee would have played Georgia. So I think it either way, which
Ohio State would have won.
I guess it kind of works out where wherever those seeds should have gone. So like Notre Dame would have beaten Clemson. They would have played us because they were the lowest seed. So we get the best team next.
Yeah.
Oregon would have gotten like the highest next seed, most likely, because Indiana would have beaten Boise State. So the way this is structured is like about as perfect as you can get.
Yeah. I like it.
And that's for 2026. But if there's 16 teams, then I think it'd be the same way. Pretty much the highest seed would play the lowest seed in the top 4. Like the highest seed here would play the lowest seed here, which would be us 4. So it works out that way, I guess. But like what if Clemson beats Notre Dame? Then we play Clemson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
They shouldn't be playing us. They should be playing Oregon because they're the lowest, whatever you want to call it, highest seed.
Well, how this is set up is fair. I mean, 9 versus 8, 12 versus
100%.
5. Yeah.
But then if it's 16 teams, then that means there's this. Okay, so here's a whole other bracket. Can you see my mouse? Yeah. So here's a whole other bracket, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're playing this round, this round, this round, this round, this round, right? Like 16 would play 5, 15 would play. I don't know. How would that work?
Well, we'd have to see it. It's hard to, when it's not there, it's really hard to do it. But I think 14's fine, but 16's just too many.
I thought it should be 8 at the end of the day. It should just be 8. But 16, man, like that's, you're right. That's
8.
way too many teams. 14 is too many.
Yeah, 8 or 12 is good, but anything more than that, no.
Could you do 10? You couldn't do 10, could you?
No. Guess not.
So then 14 will play 5, 13 will play. I don't even know how you do the 14 team, how that would be structured. But anyway, this is just looking at it now. This is about as perfect as you can get because 5 should play 4 because we're the highest seed in the top 4. And they're the lowest seed in this bracket. And then
if 5 wins,
this would pretty much work out perfectly unless Clemson or Arizona State or SMU would upset their first opponent. That's about as perfect as they can get. But again, I think it should be 12. If 12 wins, they play Oregon. And then, if Ohio State wins, they should play us.
It wouldn't work, though, that way because –
no,
you're saying if it's more teams?
No. Right now, this right here, even last year, I think it should have been if Clemson beats Notre Dame, they should play Oregon. You know what I mean? It should be like the NFL. The lowest seed, the highest seed plays the lowest seed no matter what in the NFL.
Yeah, you're kind of putting it into perspective on the way March Madness was set up, I think. That's kind of how you were, like on the first round, 1 versus 16, 2 versus.
Yeah, exactly. It should be the highest seed. Like whoever the highest seed is here, or whatever the lowest seed, whoever the lowest seed is, like 12. Whoever the lowest should play Oregon, and then it should be accordingly to the other teams. Because the number 1 team shouldn't be playing Ohio State or Tennessee. They should be playing Boise State or Indiana. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's advantageous, though, because Oregon just has to play Indiana or Boise State, and then if they win, then eventually
it works out.
Because then they'd have to play us or Notre Dame next, and then, they have a better route this year. Or Oregon would have had a much easier route this way than getting Ohio State first round, so.
Yeah, right now it's the top 4 conference champions get in. So it was, Georgia SEC. It was Boise, the MAC, because they were the higher seed than the ACC. Texas. Dude, how did that work? How did that work last year? Who were the top 4?
That's not going to happen. What happened last year won't. The conference champions don't get a bye now.
All right.
It's all about how it's seeded. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it
Whoever
was
wins
the
the
top
conference
four
game.
was okay. Did Texas beat Georgia in the SEC title? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So how was Georgia number 2? Because Georgia and Texas were in the SEC.
Wait, no, Georgia beat Texas. They had to beat Texas then.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, Georgia beat Texas.
right. Okay, so it was Big Ten champion, SEC champion, MAC champion because they were higher ranked, and the Big 12 champion. They were the top 4 because
Which
they were
won't
higher than the
happen this
ACC and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Arizona State is Big 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were higher than, like, you would never think the MAC would be higher than the ACC, but they were because they were they were good last year. Boise State.
And now
one of the best
they
in the
won't be, which makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that works out.
Yep.
This is way better. But it's the same this year. Yeah. But as long as they keep the seeding, I want it to be like 8 teams, at most 12. But even if they get more teams, as long as it's this seeding, then it's fine. The way it's structured now, I don't know how they came up with that, but it's pretty bad. I mean, like the number 1 team was punished. Dude, we were lucky to not win the Big Ten title because we would have played.
Yeah.
We would have ran into Ohio State. I don't know if we win that game. Then we would have ran into Texas, bro.
Yeah.
Shit. That's crazy, man. Like the number 1 team. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's why they're changing it because it was
that's
so
a
terrible.
horrible structure, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's horrible. But all right, everybody. Yeah. We got the news out there. Talked about the structure of the playoff. I mean, yeah. It's a never-ending conversation, college football, and that's good because we love college football, but it's a never-ending conversation. I mean, yeah. But Brett, see my clubs back there?
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember seeing them now. Yep.
So that's my Nittany Lionhead I won when I was 12, won a long draft contest. But
nice.
Yeah, all tailor-made sims.
Nice.
Pretty good stuff. Sim 2, I think, is all.
My dad was always a Titleist guy. He'd have Titleist and then Pro V1 golf balls.
Yeah.
I was
like
a big
my
fan.
drivers.
I like Callaway balls too.
Yeah, I
forget what they're called. The Callaway, whatever the popular ones.
Callaway. Yeah, I don't know the Callaway balls.
Yeah, but they're good.
TaylorMade, they have the TPX and stuff like that. But you have an M6 driver. And like my strong suit is driving and putting. My short game is bad because I usually drive it far.
Mm.
But yeah, I got M6 driver, and then I got all
We're the
Sim
opposite.
2s.
I'm a short game guy.
Yeah.
Good.
Got MG2 wedges, and then I got a Scotty Cameron putter, so it's pretty nice setup. But all right, everybody, good episode.
Yeah,
we will see you guys next week. I'm going to try to keep up with the Daily Show and stuff like that, and check out Jared on Mark Lesko Podcast Facebook group for Pirates and Steelers coverage. I'm on Twitch too, so go over there and support me on there. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to start gaming here soon and streaming it on Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, all that. So until next time, guys, what to watch real quick. Follow Favre, Netflix, Ocean's 11, 12, 13, American Manhunt, O.J. Simpson, Black Mirror, Rescue Me. All-time classics. We Are, Cost 22, Penn State.
Yeah.
Thanks for.
He always drops in right.
Yeah.
He comments right at the end.
Thanks for stopping in, Cost. Yeah. Like I said, Illicit won the giveaway, the 500 subscriber giveaway. We're almost at 600 now. We're up to like 592 now. Every time I say that, I curse it and then it drops. But Cost, keep commenting, man. You might be part of the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. But check out those shows, all on Netflix.
Yep.
And we will see you guys next week. Later.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.